Welcome, Ariel, and the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope that we have English speakers because I will be doing the speech today in English. All right, from hype to impact, crafting AI strategy that actually delivers. That's my speech, and this is what I will want to share with you right now. So who am I? Like Eva said, I am IT manager at ING for the last 12 years. Sorry. Thank you. Now someone decided to send me hundreds of messages on my watch. All right, so I'm IT manager at ING, and currently I'm working with multiple different communities, AI communities around Poland, so I was able to also speak with a lot of people what are their challenges, and I think they are quite similar. So why do we even bother with AI? This is perspective of the business, so it's always important to take a look from the other side. Hyper-personalization, also first of all, systems tailored to each and every customer. This is like everyone says it, but honestly, everyone wants their system perfectly tied to every customer. So this is the first hype, right? I will have one system and it will be exactly perfect product for every customer that logs in. Anyone who is with the personalization knows that it's not possible. Regardless, that's what we want. Data-driven decisions, perfectly every single decision that is being data-driven. Also, from the perspective of the data, we do not have such a data, but this is a hype because anyone wants to analyze every single data to make every little choice. Dynamic efficiency, so automation of repetitive tasks and cost cuts. You can see also everything here in every single place. Honestly, again, people are expecting from AI that it will automate almost everything. That's the case, and it will detect every single threat that's there. So we can take a single thing that we see on every other presentation, we scale it up 100 gazillion of times up, and that's the case what usually the business wants from AI. And then if we are having extremely high expectations, then the reality happens, and it matches with what's really there, with what really models are able to bring in. And right now, I see, for example, on LinkedIn, what is really popular is to say really bad things about AI. Like you do not say how great it is. You usually focus on the flaws of it. And that's seriously what's right now the topic, because we have hyped so much to the extremely not possible level that we are right now clashing with the reality. If we will take a look, the speed of it. So from the big organizations like Nordea was just before me, we are at ING. 6 months for every major AI model. That's usually the time of it. Gemini 3 came up like this week, I think 2 or 3 days ago. From the perspective of the big companies, 6 months, it's nothing. If you will add risk, compliance, and everything around it, it's really short periods of time. So we can see a really big speed of the technology. So also people see the new model, they want to use it as quickly as possible. With startup, it's possible. With the big organizations, not so much. And we can see that from the perspective of organizations, what I have seen, we have three different organizations. First of all, we have still the skeptics. So they say that this is still a statistics, nothing more. They do not see Gen AI as something that will bring value. They still say that machine learning is only the thing that will stay, and machine learning is the thing that will stay, but Gen AI brings the value. But we still have the companies that they don't want to go there. Most of the people I think we have is that I call them the tool droppers. So basically this is a company. So here is the copilot. We give it to the developers, and now we expect you to be 3 times more productive. That's it, right? You have the tool, be more productive. We have the chat. We haven't really fine-tuned it. We didn't do anything. We basically put the chat GPT on our webpage, and we expect the increase of sales 200%. So that's the case. And then we have the strategic builders. So creating overall strategy around it. Not only bringing the tool, being aware that this is a change. It will not change the whole business altogether, but it is making a significant change. And creating an AI as a strategic asset, putting it into different places of the organization. And first of all, what we need to focus on is the human factor, because technology is just a technology. It also changes. And is anyone here that knows someone who was cut off by AI, so lost their job because of AI on the room? I did. We have one person, second, third, now fourth. No one else rose their hand. At my family. At my family, one of the people, really close ones, he was being told that he's teaching the model that will basically find out with them being laid off. So they will lose their job for the 6 months. And they have been, he has been doing it for the 6 months. He could, like, I don't know, fight with it. Well, that's the fact. So he was the cell person around it. He gathered the knowledge about the models. He found another job in another company, way better paid. So is it the fact that AI will replace some roles? It will. Like, that's true. But from our perspective, are we going to, like, lay down and be sad about it or do something about it? So at my family, he really has done something, and it was a good perspective, but we need to be aware of it, that this fear that AI will replace me, it's also hammering a lot of innovations, and it's hammering a lot of changes, because people are afraid that if I will help out with this AI project, I will lose my job. So that's why it's really important to tackle it, to show that this is a thing that will help out. So we will be, for example, more productive, but really tackle it and not leave it somewhere, because this is where a lot of people are having this fear. Also, we are learning way more than we had to. I can say on my example, for the last 2 years, I had to learn way more than for the previous 10 years that I have been working on. There's a lot of knowledge for the people about data science, about AI, about machine learning. These are the things that I have heard for the 10 years. And yeah, it's something there. But then when the Gen AI, ChatGPT, because it's the change, came up, a lot of new knowledge. For example, prompt engineering, but this is a really smart part. Fine-tuning, rack systems. This is all really technological hard parts that also business needs to learn. So it needs to be tackled. And also the case of the trust gap. So the people focusing whether the AI will make a mistake. And the strategy always, in my opinion, starts with the education. And first of all, every single person at, for example, big company or corporation, they need to have the basic knowledge about AI. This is something that, for me, it is like using the computer. So whenever is someone talking about, I don't know, Copilot and having a number of licenses, well, currently in the big corporations, everyone has a computer. That's normal thing. So this basic knowledge about prompt engineering, what is model, what are the hallucinations, because people will fight it. This is the basic knowledge for everyone. But then not everyone needs to have the knowledge about everything. So I will be today focusing mostly on the AI-assisted engineering, because this is the area I'm working on lately, and that's I can share with you my knowledge. So this is the area of the developers that will be using AI to increase their productivity in every project, honestly. But also we have AI product development. So from the other side, we can put LLMs, for example, to our products to increase their value, to put some new features in it. There's a different topic. Not every single application will have LLM in it. It's useless. But we will have people that will need to know how to put it inside there. Then we will have governance, because in the big corporations, we have compliance, we have risk, we have ethics, we have legal. Every single one of those areas, if they will be properly trained and they will know what are the real possibilities and threats about AI, will increase the speed of innovations. If it will not, they will be hammering it, stopping it, because of the things also that I mentioned previously, fear of job displacement. They will not know what brings, for example, the model, so they will be stopping it. And also performance boost. So we have a lot of tools that increase our performance, and we need to also tackle this one, because this is a change with how people work, or have they been working for the last 20, 30 years. It's not something that will change within a month. So what I will be telling you today, mostly, is AI-assisted engineering. So this is what was promised, honestly. So we will be able to have way bigger code generation. It will be really fast. It will enhance the productivity, so the developer will be able to do 3-4 times more. We will have documentation about everything. We have never had time to document most of the things. Now we'll have every single method, function, everything perfectly documented, and the code quality will be perfect. But anyone who is working with these areas knows that it's not really the truth. If you are really using it for the corporate grade topic, if you will just drop GitHub Copilot, Cursor, Windsurf, Cloud Code, doesn't matter, and just put the tool and you expect that it will boost up everything, it will not happen. What will happen? We will have the speed. We'll have a huge amount of probably low quality code. Also, what I mentioned previously, so we have the time that is needed to put the new model. So if you are having, for example, startup and you are having Gemini 3.0, I don't know, probably it's in the Cursor this week. But if you will take a look at the big corporations, before they will do the whole risk journeys, it will take months. So usually there are a couple of models behind. The boost, so developers will spend way more time debugging the things, debugging the code that is being brought. You will have the documentation. It will sound beautifully because this is large language models, but usually it will be useless because it will not have any context of the company. So it will be really nicely sounded documentation that nobody will use. Perfect. And then we are having the trust. So we have new risks with new experiences that we have never really expected before. So for example, API keys that will be flying around GitHub, you will find quite a lot of them there because it's faster. Like you can put it to some vault or whatever, or you can simply put it exactly in the code because it's faster. So the code is creating fast code, and thank you. You have really a lot of API keys running around GitHub. And then what you also have, you have expectation also from the business about the things that I have seen with vibe coding. So I can prompt 5 letters, I don't know, maybe not, 5 sentences, and I have working perfect application. I do not need developers. Yeah, everyone who is working on the vibe coding is really cool at MVPs, at POCs, but God forbid it from the production, like seriously. Or if you really like way risk, then you should. And then you have AI-assisted engineering on the other side. And this is the one I'm really focusing, but still, vibe coding is a crucial part of the companies, like I mentioned to the MVP, but the business usually sees the value of the vibe coding because this is what you've been seeing on the YouTube or whatever. Just one day and you have working application. That is what they expect from the teams as well. So this is also hype. So they expect developers to bring working application within a day or two, perfectly, for example, a voice bot. Okay, so from the perspective of IDEs, AI is currently in every single one of them. Or I think maybe we'll have some that do not have, but mostly it is. GitHub Copilot, Cursor, Windsurf, Cloud Code. We can see it everywhere. It's not on the same level. Right? We have better ones, we have faster ones. So for example, GitHub Copilot is still chasing Cursor. Usually you have, I think, 4 to 6 months of the difference between new features. But this is really changing how people are creating the code and creating the applications. Not only the applications that are really putting the LLMs in it, but speeding up those ones. So that's why we cannot leave it behind. We need to be aware of it. If we will take a look at the current studies, this is for the last couple of months, we have a lot of issues with it. So first of all, if we are putting, for example, a lot of code and we are putting it to the reasoning models because it's, well, better, right? It takes more time. That's cool, but we are having a big issue of overthinking. So the model is overthinking some kind of functionalities. So it's not only taking longer, but sometimes it can be that the output is way worse than it was with the normal one. AI use is a mainstream, so we still think, okay, couple of people use AI with the coding. It's not true. Most of the people use it. So the productivity goes up, like I mentioned, because we are able to create features way faster, but code quality goes down. So then we have the debugging, because the model is providing a lot of the code that it's way worse than it was previously. The hype shows the speed. So we are able to provide more code, so it's better. But the quality goes down, and this is the part that people usually omit. And AI, that's the important part, amplifies organization health. So the strong teams will get stronger, but the weak ones will get messier. So if you are having mess in your team and you expect that you will provide AI and it will help out solve everything, probably it will bring even more chaos. So it's also important to take a really comprehensive view around it. And these are the main insights from most of those studies that I have mentioned previously. It truly shows that if you will just put those tools and you will not think, you will have way worse situation than you are. But that there is a light in the tunnel. If you will take a look and think before you will put it, and you will plan a couple of things, then it's way better. Because one of the things, for example, that helps out, that only 13% of organizations currently do, that's evaluation. So, for example, if you are generating the code with this kind of tools, for Christ's sake, do the evaluation. See what is the outcome. And from the outcome, do the iteration to improve it. I will show you a couple of things that I'm, for example, using, and they are really providing a really better productivity. So this is one of the things I wanted to share with you. Okay. What are the things that are helping out that's really making the impact? So first of all, like I mentioned, reasoning, non-reasoning models, it's important to know when to use them. Okay? So do not use reasoning model for every single part, because it will just, for example, take longer, and also you might overthink things. From the other side, do not use non-reasoning models for everything, because sometimes you need the reasoning. So what really works out is when you are planning, the planning part, or for example, taking a look at the new features, then reasoning model can, for example, provide input or markdown files that will provide instructions to the non-reasoning model. This works really well. So you spend some time with the reasoning model, it creates the files that you will later on use it, it will provide better context, I will come up to it, and then you use the non-reasoning model for the speed. It's really, if you are using it the right way, you can have it twice, 4, 5, 10 times, sometimes better than not the correct way of using those tools. Second of all, context is everything, especially with the big organizations. If we're having a big organization and we are just expecting the model to come up with the things, it has the knowledge from the GitHub. We will not fine-tune the model with our code, because usually we are not having such enough amount of the code for it. But we can provide context in a kind of shared markdown rules. So if we are having some kinds of rules for compliance, for risk, for our tech stack, if we will create those rules, not one big one with everything, because it doesn't work, we need a lot of them specific to the different parts of projects, organizations, and we will add them to the context, then the model will know how to behave and work with the applications in the organization context. So it will not do errors that are, I don't know, quite okay in other parts, but are not possible in our case. So for example, I'm from banking, so we are having really strict security rules in this case, and the data governance. It's really important from this part, and we need to manage the cut-off date. So every single model, even Gemini 3.0, it has the cut-off date at some moment of time. And if we are using it for development of applications, it can really bring a lot of issues, because it can, for example, hallucinate new libraries or updates or whatever. Model will never tell you, or mostly will not tell you, that it doesn't know something. It will try to come up with the idea. And it's really hard when you are working on it. So that's why, for example, Context 7 is a really cool solution. It's via MCP server, and you can bring new context to the existing models, speeding up, boosting up the knowledge of the model and for the context. So from one way you are using non-reasoning reasoning for the current way, then you are using shared Markdown rules to provide context about the organization, and you are using tools like Context 7 to manage cutoff date. Not one of those things, all of them. And then if you are taking the full picture, first you have the basic AI literacy, because this is still the things that people need to know. So for example, we are providing the tools to the developers, expecting them that they will have the 4 times better efficiency, but not bringing even basic AI knowledge, what is prompting. So they are using it the way they are using Google. They are using mostly the ask function, for example. They are not using the edit, agents, multi-agents, whatever. So this AI literacy is everywhere. It needs to be done. Then we are having the advanced AI expertise. Not everyone needs to know what is the reasoning and non-reasoning model. Not everyone needs to know what are the Markdown rules, but we are having a number of people that should know it. So that's why we are having this advanced AI expertise in a silos, I could say, depending on the role. And then we are providing this context of the company as rules, as guardrails, to really improve the productivity. Then what is really crucial, what's really hard with this kind of solutions is measurement. Because if we will just believe that it's better, that's cool, but belief is not enough. We need to have some kind of numbers to know whether are we going the right way or not the right way. But we cannot measure everything, because I think most of the people here were in the companies that tried to measure every 5 minutes of the work we were doing. It's useless. It just takes time. So we need to do it so as not to kill the innovation. These are a couple of the metrics I am using. They are really, for now, they are quite enough. First of all, these are the basic metrics for the license usage. It can be via network throughput, but mostly right now you are having the possibility to see how many developers are, for example, using the licenses. Then you are measuring the interaction patterns. So it tracks how people are using it. So are they using it as an ask mode, edit mode, or agent mode? Are they accepting what the model is providing them or not? So then you can see what is the knowledge, I could say, knowledge of the people, of the usage of the tools. And the same with the acceptance rate, but also what you really need is the qualitative feedback. So you also ask the people how are they feeling with it. Are they really feeling that it's helping them out? Or are they feeling that it's just something that slows them down? Because it's also important with the rollout and with the different topics that I have been showing to you. And then if you go with it, you can take it even a step further. Taking it a step further, so first of all, this AI-assisted copilots, like I mentioned. Then you provide the context. So provide the context via Markdown files. You can put some rack via MCP or SharePoint or whatever, but you need to also work with the data to have it efficient. And then you go step by step. You do not do everything at once. You put the AI testing. If someone was using Claude 4.5, it's really doing quite nice with the unit tests for the topic. So you add the new models and you take down the parts of the work that it takes time with the automation. Then you can improve the input itself. So you can put the AI to help you out with, for example, the user stories that are being brought to the development teams. So they will see or understand it better, because anyone who is working with the business knows that it's sometimes a couple of words and that's it. It really helps out. At the end, you can even use AI for the AI releases. So you have the full CI/CD pipeline. You have the SRE AI agents that are going there. You have the AI monitoring. You can have really everything around it. But if you will try to have it all at once, you will simply fail. My proposition is to go step by step and try to do those parts, like I mentioned, with small steps to go forth. Because then we can, for example, go to the multi-agentic solutions. Right now, agents, I think here on the DSS, we will have a lot of it. 2026 is the year of agents. Mostly this is the year of us talking about the agents, not using them. Maybe 2025, maybe 2026 will be about using the agents. But this is a really cool idea, that you are delegating the tasks to custom agents and that they will handle small tasks, like, okay, coding some kind of functions, testing, documentation, small tasks. But agents are not really like the way that you can put the swarm and hope for the best. Orchestration is really crucial. So they will really live, they will work, they will not misbehave. So that's this is the way that I think we'll be going further in the next steps. And this will also change how we are working with the code, because we will be more focusing on the orchestration of those, of the delegation, than the specific coding. If someone was using Cursor 2.0, okay, one person, 2, 3, 4, a couple of ones. Okay, one of the things there is that you can provide the input and get 10 responses with 10 different propositions of the solution, and you are picking the one that you like currently. So you need to have the knowledge about the development to pick the right one, but your job is not really coding, it's picking the right solution. And we can see that the IDEs are slowly emerging into this way, like I mentioned, usually 6 months behind Cursor, for example, GitHub Copilot, so we can expect a couple of those things middle of the next year. And Agent HQ from GitHub is exactly the topic that's focusing on it. So GitHub, after merge with Microsoft, what they have shown is that they will be moving into this way. So more and more tools, like Copilot integration, third-party agents with Jira, with ServiceNow, Asana, what's there? There are different models over there. You will basically have a dashboard where you will be managing the development of the code. That's how they perceive it. You will not simply be in the IDE, or you will not have to leave even the IDE. You will have there everything to manage your code, your tests, your documentation, your releases, everything there. So that's the perspective of the future. But like I mentioned a couple of times here, this is where we will end up. Maybe it will be again the hype. But from what I want to share with you today, there is no perfect solution. So not a single thing that I have shown today will solve all the problems. It will be a river of the small things. So if you will be putting all of those small parts together, then you will see the real impact. It will not be perfect, big premiere like ChatGPT in 2025. It will be not 4 times the speed between Monday and Friday. It will be 5%, 10%, 1 hour, 20 minutes, something like this, putting those kind of topics. Eventually, at the end, I think this HQ perspective of the GitHub, this is something that we'll have to deal with in a year or 2. But to get there and work with this swarm of agents, we need to go with those steps behind to really use AI. Okay, I think it will be enough from me. We have 15 minutes for questions, if you have. Thank you very much. And I think, oh, here. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Ariel, for a very energetic and insightful presentation. I think we have 5 minutes for questions.
5, okay.
Do we have any questions? Okay, ladies.
Oh, thank you for the good presentation. I would like to ask you how to define if it's worth to automate some task with AI when, for example, business come and say, so we need something with AI. We don't have clear strategy, but still AI is everywhere, it's popular, so we need to automate something. And how to understand, is it worse or no?
First of all, is it repetitive really? Or are we trying to automate a thing that we're doing once a year? First thing. Second, I think how long does really this thing takes? So sometimes making automation is longer than the task itself. So this is the knowledge of the person that it's handling with it. Because not everything is worth automation, but from the other side, sometimes this river of small things makes the difference. So if you all see that it's a small task, but it's a really repetitive one. So we do it a couple of times a day or a couple of times a week. It's, I think, worth automating. From my side, I'm always trying to start with the automation and then see, is it possible or not? Not to other way around, so find thousands of reasons why not to automate, because it's really easy to find those, but find the reasons the other way around. So I'm trying to automate, and if I'm really not able to do so, then I'm leaving the task behind. Okay.
Yeah, hello. Thank you very much for the nice talk. I have a specific question about the measurement. You had a very interesting slide, and I thought that like most of the points you mentioned were about adoption of the AI. But I guess you as an engineering manager have to deal day to day with your like other more senior managers who are coming to you, or a director of engineering and asking, hey, how is it going with the, I don't know, AI productivity? We bumped so much money in this, tools and things which we like are on the hype right now. Do you have any way how you handle those conversations? If you have any clear numerical metric on the productivity of your direct employees, I guess, like you're a software engineering manager?
Okay, so bad answer is that there is no really working metrics for this kind of topics, in my opinion. Usually the most that I have seen is that you are comparing the teams with these tools and not. So you are having one team that is using Copilot tools or AI Assistant, you have a second team that is not using, and you're looking, for example, for the number of the user stories that they are providing every single sprint. It's a really bad metrics because you do not have perfectly same teams. You do not have teams that are doing the same product in this case. So I think right now, those metrics that I have shown, they are happening for the last couple of months with the adoption. And I do not think that we are really in the moment when we will be able to objectively say how many % faster, for example, it is. Sorry, because every metric that I have seen, I'm able to argue with them. Because then if you go really deeper in it, then you can see that it's really hard for those ones. I think we will see it in the long term. From the perspective of the business, what we are focusing mostly is to get the tasks that we have never done or we never had the time. So bring them more business features. So then we'll be able to, for example, whether for the next year, comparing to the 2 or 3 years before, we'll have more features that we have provided the customers. This is a good metric, but you need long term for it. Between one sprint and the second one, it's not really a tool. So that's why adoption is better, because we are right now on the adoption level. We are learning, people are learning about those tools. So that's why I like to focus on them, and then we will see the long-term change. Thank you.
So could you share with us the biggest mistake that you made during the implementation of the AI that you would love to avoid if you were asked to start it from scratch? And let's focus on the strategic level decision, some bold assumption that you made, and it turned out that it didn't work or it didn't work as you expected.
Okay, so you need to roll out you need to think about the rollout plan. So for example, you are having thousands of the engineers. You cannot put it to everyone because what is happening, you are providing the tool to a large number of people. They are trying to use it. They do not see the value. So they are stuck to using it. And right now you're in the position where they are really kind of angry on the tool that have been providing to them. So the mistake is to just give it to everyone as a tool and expect the change. What you need to do, you need to have a think about it with the real rollout plan. So right now, if we are providing it to the next bunch of developers, let's say, we are having the trainings behind it, really good ones to show, and also the trainings for the basic ones, for the advanced ones. And then we are sure that every single developer that will receive those tools will have the proper training before. Or at least in the beginning. Also, the second mistake is do not teach the people about the tools they are not able to use, because it also brings a lot of frustration. So if you are, for example, showing that you are, I don't know, Fireflies, and you can have live recordings, summaries, etc., and then you are saying that, yeah, but in our case it will not be like this for the next, I don't know, 2 years, don't do it. Because people will also be frustrated that there is a technology there that they cannot use. So if you are doing large-scale learnings for the people, make sure that what you are showing is possible in the organization that you are having. That's also a really important one. Yeah.
So I have a brief question. So, coding assistant in regulated environments. In your particular case, are you going with just adopting like Claude Code, Cursor, or you're trying to build something your own? If it is compliant to what's already in the market with your environment, and how you generally approach it?
Okay, that's really basic. That's an easy one. You go mostly, why I mentioned GitHub Copilot, because big organizations having a lot of topics from Microsoft. Sometimes you follow the environment you're working. So with, I think GitHub Copilot is right now the best one, because Cursor, Windsurf, Claude Code, these are more of the startup types solutions for the regulation. No, we are not doing it ourselves. Nobody has really the amount of the code to train the model to be efficient. I have seen the solution, for example, I think here, it's also one of the speeches that they have been training the model with their data, but they are honestly putting all of their code to the context of the local model for the DeepSeek, because DeepSeek has a big context in this case, to provide the context. And this you can kind of fine-tune. It's not really fine-tune, you just put the whole code of the company to the prompt, but this is locally thing that you are here. But if you are having, for example, GitHub Copilot, and then you are using a tenant, your own tenant that is being run off, this is the thing I think most of the banks I'm speaking of usually work.
Okay, do we have any more questions? We might have time for one last question, but if there is none,
I think this one. All right.
That's very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.